This is going to be a video on the swing case, just the overall install, some of my thoughts on the case itself, what I was able to fit in it, just to give you kind of an idea for size, and just replacing this kind of like trunk organizer thing I was using. It had a long life here, and I really like this thing because I could carry it around, take it out with me, and I can fit a lot of stuff in here. So you'll kind of see when you watch the video how this thing has a lot less space than this, but overall obviously it just fits a lot nicer too. So stay tuned. This is going to be a review and install of this swing case, and this is on the passenger side of a 2019 Ford F-150. Aside from the case, you got these mounting brackets here that go into the truck, and just to look inside here, was sold on this because of the portability, and it's supposed to hold a lot of stuff. I'm not so sure if all that stuff right there, minus the case, is going to fit in here, but we'll see. I also wanted to mention that I'm still using this eBay bed cover. I'm going to see how it works with these handles, and also this is a drop-in liner, so from what I've seen on videos, I think we're going to have to cut this little piece away here. So I will kind of let you know how this goes. Alright, so to get started on this install, you first have to remove your rear tail light. So this is just 8mm socket. To remove these, and this light should just pop out. Alright, so the light came off pretty easily. With the F-150s, you just want to be careful. They have these little plastic kind of grommet inserts that go into the truck there it's just like a clip really, and it prevents it from rattling, so you just want to make sure you don't lose those. And then it's just a single wire harness for the halogen bulbs. Now this is the part where I'm going to need to cut this plastic back at least a kind of half of a rectangle, just to access these three holes right here. And then depending on the swing on the actual case itself, I might need to get rid of this extra piece up here. So I'm using a multi-tool just to kind of get rid of that plastic. You could just use some kind of like hand snips or something, I'm sure, but this blade is not extremely sharp, so hopefully it does the job on this plastic, but I'll let you know how it goes. So it seems as I'm trying to cut this with a multi-tool, it's vibrating with the saw, so it's not doing a whole lot of cutting. So I'm going to shove this piece of 2x4 back there to try and stop all the vibration, to try and get some cutting. So just a little tip there. Alright, so the piece of wood really helped with the vibration, let it cut in some. So that was what I was trying to accomplish there, to show these three holes. This whole part here is going to get covered by the case, so it doesn't really have to be a pretty cut, just to be able to get to these holes to mount up this bracket here. Alright, so here's the hardware. You get four looks like just regular screws for this bracket here, and then you get three of these screws that go into this bracket that goes right here, and you get two washers, three locking washers, and three nuts. So it looks like the two washer, or yeah, these two like spacer washer looking things, they go on the top and bottom, and then the lock washers and the nuts. So in the middle one, you don't use one. It looks like I guess you're not going to need it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted up here real quick. All right, I cut a little bit of that plastic away here, which kind of made room for the whole entire bracket. So it's a little bit cleaner there, and makes it just fit a lot nicer. So we'll see how that works after I get these tightened down and get the other bracket mounted up to these 4 points here. So in tightening down those three bolts that hold on the bracket, you're going to need a 1/2 inch wrench for the nuts, and then a T40 Torx bit for the screws. Next part of the install is this bracket here. I did see a few people that installed these that had these actual metal clips for the piece that catches on to hold the actual case in place. And this is plastic. I'm not going to say it looks cheap. It kind of just concerns me on the amount of closes you have. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but just something to note on the newer versions, I guess. Just a note on these smaller screws, these are a T30 instead of a T40. Okay, so I got this bracket mounted up here. You can see I did have to cut a small section out of the bed liner just to make those screws accessible. If you've never screwed anything into these multi-use, I'm not sure what Ford actually calls it, but if you've never screwed anything to these holes, they are not pre-threaded. So you are actually tapping the holes themselves when you're screwing anything in there the first time. So it can be a little tricky, so I just used an impact and went really slow, but yeah, they made their way in. So it's all mounted up now, so I think at this point we just need to throw it on. I just wanted to cut in here and mention, so with the tonneau cover completely down, with the handles adjusted kind of upward, which is still holding the tonneau, I actually can open this fairly easily and still have complete access. It opens up out here obviously, but as far as just fitting underneath of it, it seems like I can shut it. And let me try and turn the flash on there. You're gonna see it's just kind of tapping the bottom of these handles, but it still works. So yeah, happy with that. Alright, so I got it loaded up here. I'm gonna pull it out and open it up and show you what I got. It's kind of hard to keep open because I'm on a driveway and it wants to shut, but I was able to shove most of my stuff in here. Put some bungees underneath this little bucket here, but got my first aid kit and just my shop rag. I got all my straps in here with my hitch and just some miscellaneous emergency tools, but otherwise, I will say I still have all my blankets over there that I like to take with me, just for whatever I might need them for. But they did fit pretty nicely in this little trunk organizer, and I don't know, the space in this is nice. It's just not as big maybe as I thought it was going to be, so I gotta figure out something for those. But I don't know, I guess if you have a lot of stuff, you might want to consider just getting two of them, one for the driver's side and for the passenger side. I'm not so sure I'm going to get one for the driver's side just because I don't think it's really made for blankets. I think one will suffice for my needs, but overall I think I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, it is really kind of slick the way it just kind of locks in there, and you still got a whole lot of bed space. And if you want to take this out, you just lift them off these pins here. I really, I guess I can try to do it with one hand here. So you just lift them off those pins, and then you get really kind of just a tool case at that point. No handle, but you can just take it out real quick if you need fit some more stuff in your box or whatever the case may be. So overall, that's the swing case. If you have any questions for me, just leave them in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks.